So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am, no, not the child snatcher. I am the other host, Paul, from that reputable podcast, Nerdy Up North, where I don't offer sweets to kids and say I know where the puppies are. So definitely not.
No.
So yes, we are joined by the top grumps himself, Lee, who actually looks quite good as a cowboy.
Pew
And
pew.
showing the first
Thank
fire.
you, White Steve Harvey.
Where's Chris? Where's Chris's only top of Chris's hat showing?
Shall I reveal myself?
I
Yes,
think
please.
you should. The masses need to see you, Chris.
Howdy.
Howdy, partner.
Oh my god. Phoebe's wins comment of the night, and I know we've just started. Who stole Chris's booster seat?
Right.
Oh.
Yes, we are in I can't even get the words out because I'm looking at Chris's tash.
Oh god.
So how are we judging the tash off? Are we going off realistic, or because Chris has the
Length
most
and girth, I think.
length of girth? That's what she said.
Now it's time for family feels.
I can't not see it now, can you not? Oh, Beth said she's found all 5, so she's getting all excited. So
Well, you know what to do.
we'll see who wins in the Discord. So yes. So it's already off the rails already. So
professionalism, let's go.
So how are you, Lee? You look beautiful. You suit that tash.
Stunning.
Oh no, I do not. Like, nobody suits a mustache. Except for Chris, obviously.
It's so weird because I saw you earlier today. You did not look like that.
No, I've literally just shaved it like 5 minutes before coming on camera to use because there was no way I was having it for any longer than I need to.
Amazing. And Chris, how long did it take you to grow yours?
About 5 minutes. It's easy for me.
Yeah.
Just stick it on with some stickle tape.
Well, this is a real tash, Paul.
Right.
Don't break the illusion.
I can't wait to see it.
We can see the string on the side of his face.
No, that's me hairline.
It's like a proper. What was that guy out of Looney Tunes?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam. You dirty varmints. And I just look like a pedophile. I am sorry.
Before we start, do you want to see me gun spinning skills that I've been practicing?
Yes.
They're really good.
Yep.
Ready?
For audio
there
listeners,
we go.
For anyone who's listening on audio, I really highly suggest that you skip the audio on this one and just go straight to YouTube because you are missing an absolute treat.
Yes. So, just before we get started, because we've all had a bit of a shit week. Let's be honest, it's been a crap week for everyone. So I've got something to kind of put us in a little perspective. Put a little bit. Let's tug on those heartstrings as well, because
make me cry.
Possibly, because I'm not going to name the person, because this person sent us an article today and I cried.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the article to you. It's going to go on the website tomorrow, but I think it's such. Just to give you a little bit of context, like understand what we try and do at Nerdy Up North and why we keep doing what we do. I think it's important message to give across. So just to read it to everyone, I'll do my best voice. No, I won't. She'll kill us. 2 years ago, I joined a Discord server that changed my life. But first, I need to rewind and tell you how I end up joining a random Discord server. I didn't grow up in the Northeast. I moved here after a relationship ended, leaving me with a job I loved and a very young child. I have always felt different. I obsess over fandoms to the point where I've created entire universes just to write within those obsessions. But I never felt comfortable sharing them with people in real life. I masked to a fault. So much so that it made me stutter and hide away that little gem inside me. A nerdy girl with a little bit of ADHD spice. Then, one random day, or how or why is lost to my memory, I joined a Facebook group And from there, I somewhere ended up in a Discord server. What I found was something I never expected. I found my people. The kind of people only the internet, fandoms, and the Northeast seem to create. Unapologetic, nerdy people. People who share their fandoms, passions, and the world through their eyes. People who have built a community both online and real life without gatekeeping. Unapologetic, kind people. People I would be cookies for just because I enjoy their company and want to make sure they're well fed at cons. People who cheer you on and generally want the best for you. People who you can hang out with, wander around shops with, do nothing with, and yet it means everything. People who remind you that you are all right, even with ADHD, makes you feel like you aren't, and who help you become a better version of yourself. So, yes, one day, 2 years ago, I stumbled into a random little Discord server and it changed my life. I have never been so blessed. Hashtag, it might be a cult, but it's not that kind of cult.
Damn, those wonk girls are proper kiss asses, aren't they?
You dickhead.
Top grunts forever.
Oh my god,
Oh.
Becca.
Becca, that was beautiful.
Yes. So whenever anyone thinks about what we're doing and why we're doing it, that is the simplest justification I can say. It makes the 3 years and everything that we've done, even for that one person, worth every fucking thing we've done. So thank you.
God, did you say 3? 4, it's 4. We're coming up to 4.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry for ruining the moment. Becca,
No, I think.
love
Do you know what?
You're
Do you know
amazing.
what? I'm glad. I'm kind of glad you did because
Mhm.
I think I might have just like bawled out crying.
Oof.
I love that girl so much.
Mhm.
Like
It's-
words can't even be put together properly to explain how much I love that girl. And to watch her just, I don't want to say flourish because that's
Mhm.
such a. Do you know what I mean though? Like just to watch her grow recently, and especially like from the first time we did Women of Nerd Culture together to like she fucking runs it now. Like she does everything. Like I love her. I love you,
Yes.
Becca.
So yes,
That
I
was
just
lovely.
I just wanted to share that moment with you because, like I say,
Thank you.
it affected me today, and I think at times that message can be lost, and
I needed to
it
hear
should
it.
never be. Yes.
Yeah. I think we all needed to hear it and all need to remember it. So I tell you what, before we start, before I lose it, I'm going to do the disclaimer. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm going to do the disclaimer because if we're going to do a mustache competition, I think that should be put out there straight away. What?
Just, I was going to say, like, while we're talking about having a good week, I did have a really good week until today.
Right.
Unfortunately, Jake decided to third wheel on mine and Sammy's Valentine's weekend date.
All right.
Didn't get any action whatsoever.
So who did you sit next to in the cinema, Lee?
I sat
Who's-
between the middle of them.
All right.
I
So
sat next to Miss Wandery Hands.
all right. Did you try the the popcorn trick on you? Did you?
Yeah.
Lee, have you got
I'm
some
brave.
popcorn?
I'm brave now that I'm not sitting next to her. Aren't
Yeah, because I'd knock you. I did buy him a donut though.
Thank you.
Was it one with a hole in the middle or not?
No,
It
it wasn't.
Oh, no,
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It bet it had a hole in it when he got home. Whee. Right, get the disclaimer out the way before.
Yeah,
we
I'm
get
gonna
to
do it. Why? I don't know what. Before I can't. Are you all right? Yeah.
Touch your consumption.
Anyways, I can't remember what I was going to say. So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook group, join us in the amazing Discord, or the comment section, where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun. Keep it kind and keep the toxic behavior out of nerdism.
We'll do our best. Yes.
Pew, pew!
Bang, bang!
Bang, bang! Yeah, I love it. Do you want to get the mustache thing out the way with? Do you want to? Do we
So-
get everyone to vote? Like, well, how are we doing this?
So everyone in the chat, I want you to put just the name of the person who's got the best tash, and just for record, Sammy is a bit of a bitch. So if anyone puts Sammy's name in, she will cut you.
I will
Ask
never
Lee.
forget
Lee.
either.
Lee still gets shit for the last time he said she had the best beard.
Yeah.
Well, somebody created a poll, and then somebody voted on said poll, and I was tied with Jake. No,
So
I'm not
yes.
doing that again.
So we've got.
No, you're not.
So we've got one vote for Lee. Beth's voted for Lee so far.
Come on, there is at least 12 people in there.
So Jill said Lee.
Lee. I'm sorry. Is the child catcher Tash not catching anyone's eye?
Like, well, I'll come closer for you. Look at the tash. Look at it.
I love the fact that before we started recording, Paul didn't actually look up for a while. It's like he couldn't look at himself.
It's like, oh.
Paul looks like
Paul
the
looks
killer
like the
from
killer
Lovely Boys. And then she votes for Lee. Oh, Molly voted for Lee.
So Lee's got 5 votes.
Cheers, Molly.
All that effort he put into this, man.
I know.
Oh, so I think it's fair to say Lee's winning the best hash.
Yeah.
So well done. So we'll sort out a
Can't wait to
prize.
get rid of it.
Apparently you do, Paul. Everyone's agreeing. You look like the killer from the Lovely Boys.
It's fine.
I've never seen it.
He was a nonce as well, so it's fine.
Oh, I can also tell. I put this in the chat the other day, but all of me outfit came the other day, and I tried it on. But I'd also ordered a takeaway, like about half an hour before trying all of it on. And the takeaway lady came to the door whilst I had everything on, and like my gun holsters in and everything. And Bex was like, "I'm not answering the door. You have to do it." So I just opened the door and pulled my gun out and started going, "Reach for the skies."
Oh.
I bet you
takeaway lady.
Oh, I bet she never comes back.
Oh, she was howling though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lee.
This is what happens when we do cowboy movies. I think we'd scrap all the ideas from the next year and just do every week doing a cowboy movie now.
I just got to ask a question. Lee, do you have a box at home with all the shit that you buy to do your episodes? Like, the just random box of costumes?
I do now. I didn't before joining Nerdy Up North, but it just keeps piling up. Some of it does get a chance to come back, like especially with the Women of Nerd Cultures podcasts when they're saying like, "Oh, can we have videos on what your favorite thing is?" And I'll just pull the costume out and be like, "Yeah, Thanos."
I'll paint yourself green.
Or is it?
Like you've done it twice.
Or is it when Becca? Not Becca. Not the Becca that just wrote that lovely piece. Sorry. Is it Bex? Does she ask you to dress up? Like you've worn that cowboy outfit for a few times now, haven't you?
This is the second time I've put this on.
Yeah, and you didn't take it straight off though.
No, I did. She has asked us to wear my Top Gun outfit at one point, but I haven't put it back on since the stream.
Wow. Wow. And the Spider-Man outfit, has that been retired?
I'll probably shrunk when he went. Did it shrink when he went in the shower with it?
I think I just had to chuck it out after that. It was a bit wrecked after going in there.
So yeah, Lee's done a lot of costumes on the Nerdy Up North podcast. I tell you what, because I want to get into this episode, because I've got useless information just piling up in my head. I'm going to give you the taglines for this movie. Right, first one. Justice is coming.
Right.
Every town has a story. Tombstone has a legend. And the last one, there's only 3, by the way. And the last one is, I'm your Huckleberry.
Oh, I'm your Huckleberry.
Do you know what? I actually watched people's reactions to the scene at the end. And the amount of times I heard, I'm your Huckleberry, I was like, I could listen to this all night.
Long.
Oh,
and
yes.
We need to change Chris's name now as well. He's just had a shave. He's now Chris the Kid.
It was getting hard to drink me Monster.
Tell us about trying to drink or eat with this fucking thing on my top lip has been a nightmare for the last week. I think I've just been sending messages to randomly Lee and Christian.
Right now, Lee looks like Indiana Jones.
The Tom Selleck version.
I had a winter coat on and a scarf. It was way too hot. Sorry.
Yes, but yeah.
Yeah, Tombstone.
What a film! What a film!
Yeah.
Nice carry, wasn't it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay. Podcast ended. Bye, everyone.
5 stars. Just before we get into the film, can we talk about the
Yeah.
cast?
Let's.
Like when you go through and just look at the cast list, like even when you're watching it, there's so many people that pop up. I don't know, like if it's by accident or it was just basically anyone that and everyone that wanted to be involved in this movie, because this was 1993. It doesn't feel like a 1993 movie. It feels very modern. It feels like the techniques. I know, like it's a western, so you're not really going to get too many special effects, but everything is done so well. This would be a modern day blockbuster even now.
Yeah. It had a moment at the beginning on my I watched it on Disney Plus where it was a little bit grainy, but I don't know why halfway through it kind of cleaned up.
All right.
And it was quite sharp. I was like, I wonder if that's my telly or that's just how it's been put together. But yeah, it looked like, because even Anthony walked past and went, how old is this? And I was like, it's only 93.
Oh,
yeah, it
right.
looked really grainy to
Oh.
start with, but it did clean up later on and was a bit more sharper.
Right. Oh, but mine.
Is it not because it wasn't meant to be projected onto like a 120-inch screen?
Possibly there.
Possibly.
Shots fired
Possibly.
by Billy, the kid there in the corner.
Shots or jealousy? Who'll know?
But yeah, like if you look at the cast, like I know, like say we'll talk about them in length today. Like Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer was just outrageous. Kurt Russell was brilliant.
Best role ever that
Ever.
Val Kilmer's done. Like
Oh.
so good.
Like Sam Elliott, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, Billy Zane, Stephen Long, Powers Booth, Billy Bob Thornton, Michael Rooker, Thomas Hayden Church, and Robert Mitchum as the thing, and also Charlton Heston and Wyatt
Heston, unrecognizable.
And Wyatt Earp the third was actually in this as well.
He was. I'm going to be honest, I found this movie a little bit boring to start with, but when it kicked in, it really, really kicked in. But what I found more interesting was the history about the OK Corral and the Earp family, because wow, okay, really interesting. And I probably will dip it in and out as we go along, but Wyatt died in 1925. He was a consultant for early Western movies. At his funeral, two of the biggest Western stars were actually his pallbearers. Who's that guy? The really big one, really big. John Wayne built his whole look and style off Earp. So he's like even like not just like has a historical place in history. He also has a place in pop culture as well.
100%.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'm interested, like, not just in you, because you're a specimen of a human being.
Cheers.
You and Molly sat down and watched this the other night as well, and this is the first time Molly had watched it, isn't it? And
yeah, I think she was quite bored at the start, and then she started getting into it. But she said that she really enjoyed it at the end of it. I think once it got past the talking and shooting, she was just like, "Oh, it's good." This
get the action
Val
pieces.
Kilmer came on.
Yeah,
Val Kilmer came on. She was like,
Yum. There was just a lot of nothing leading up to something, and then when that something happened, that's when it started to get more interesting. There was a lot of trying to explain the difference between what jobs they did and what jobs they do now, and the money that they were trying to make, and it just was like, oh, get to the point.
I just found it so fascinating when I was watching like the interactions between the different folk in the town, and and when they're realizing who like Wyatt Earp was, like Kurt Russell's character, like the reactions changing, how like just the name commanded respect as well. It was just it was so well done. Well, but what about you, Lee? Like, I know, like when we said we were doing this, you got very excited. I take it you've got a love of this movie.
Well, my mum kind of brought us up on it a bit. I hate Western movies, but this is the only like Western movie that I can sit through. My mum's been obsessed with it as long as I can remember. She's been to Tombstone,
Right.
Being like the OK Corral, she's like rubbed the saddle that Kurt Russell sat on and all sorts.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I found it boring at any point. Like even the opening scene, it's like all the cowboys showing up and absolutely wiping out that wedding, and then just sitting down and just casually eating the wedding food. It's like...
Again, like because they were like saying, "Oh, you've killed 2 cowboys," so they're trying to because it was the Mexican police, wasn't it? So they stopped the wedding, like just afterwards, and again, Old West style. This shows how brutal they were. They killed everyone, and then some of the cowboys dragging the bride back into the church, knowing what her fate was going to be. It was like, oh, but again, that's. I'm not saying that this guy sound really weird. I like the fact that they showed how brutal they were, but they didn't have to show you the act like a lot of movies do, or a lot of things like where you feel uncomfortable. Like if you watch the remake for the Hills of Eyes, it's to that point it gets so uncomfortable you can't watch. It's kind of like scaring you or kind of leaving you that impression that these are really horrible, nasty human beings for the acts they're getting carried. But again, and like showcasing certain characters or things that's going to happen later on, like Michael Rooker's character, you don't see much of him in this movie, but at the start you kind of get an impression that he's not okay with what's going on or how they are acting. But then you get Michael Biehn's character, Johnny Ringo, and this, like, he is fascinating in this movie, like all the way through. Like there's 2 characters that just you are drawn to. Like Doc Holliday is just played perfectly, I think. But Michael Biehn's character, Johnny Ringo, is interesting because at the start you think, oh, he's a bad guy, but is he really a bad guy? Because he makes certain comments like when he's asking, oh, would you sell your soul to the devil? He's like, I already did. So he's like, is he in this gang because of not by choice? He has to be, kind of thing. But then as you're going through, he's becomes more and more unhinged. And the relationship with him and Doc Holliday is just absolutely fascinating to watch play through. I could watch a movie just based on them 2 characters alone, never mind what else was going on in the background.
Yeah.
I don't actually think he's bad. I think he's just a sociopath. Like he doesn't really see right or wrong. It's just kill or be killed kind of world, and
yeah.
Like he's just out for like Val Kilmer says, he's out for revenge for being born.
And that scene with Val Kilmer in the bed is amazingly done. Like when you think he's on death's door and he's just communicating, and again, because I know, like Sammy says, it took stuff a long time to get going and stuff, but I love the relationships between the characters in this. Like Doc Holliday's and Wyatt Earp's relationship, like how nobody quite understands, because Doc Holliday is let's face it, he's a twat. He's a horrible human being, but he's got so much charisma, it's hard not to like. And the other people are like saying, why do you put up with him? It's like, because it's just his way. It's like, you can talk to us any which way you want. I won't get offended, because he's making comments about, like, saying about how he's not innocent or how he knows he's gonna cheat on his wife. I know Chris has got opinions on that as well. But he says it's quite interesting how Wyatt Earp's wife just dies, and then he's going, oh yeah, I can just go to a new wife.
Yeah, everything comes up Earp.
I might be stealing one of Sammy's facts here, but do you know what Doc Holliday, what his profession was?
No.
Yeah.
He was a dentist.
He was a dentist.
All right.
He was a dentist by trade. He actually is a really highly. This is. I'm sorry to do the whole historical accuracy. But so you know the relationship between Johnny Ringo and him, and when they're speaking Latin to each other. Doc Holliday Doc Holliday probably could speak Latin to him because he was a really highly educated man. Johnny Ringo couldn't read or write for shit. So the likelihood is them 2 probably never ever spoke to each other, because intellectually he would never have been on Doc Holliday's radar whatsoever. But yeah, he was a dentist by trade. He blagged his way into that though. His brother was a dentist who started a dentistry school, and he just went, I think I can do that.
It's great. But yeah, I'm glad they did put that element into the movie as well. Like, say, because they try to use Johnny Ringo as like almost an equal to Doc,
like a
or
counterpart.
like a counterpart, because like if we were playing like a video game or a comic book, like Doc Holliday's power levels was so up there and needed so on the kind of thing, because
So high.
yeah, because
I mean,
he was the most
there is
intelligent.
no match for Doc Holliday, though, is there? Like
No.
that was an unfair match.
Yeah, and you know what? When I was reading, because I started reading about the movie, and I actually got a little bit bored because there's not. To be honest, this movie is like it goes great. There's nothing, nothing scandalous goes on. It's a good production. Val Kilmer spent months, maybe even a year, just practicing that whip, that's really fast. Like whip out so he could do it properly. Like he really put his heart and soul into this performance, and by God does it pay off, because the wit, it's fast, it's quick,
Yeah.
it's just as quick as he's gunslinging. And how the no fear, this man, and for a reason he has no fear, obviously because he has tuberculosis. But yeah, he's got absolutely no fear of dying, because essentially he's already dying. It was annoying as when he was coughing. I said, put your hand over your fucking mouth, because people will get this.
Yeah.
I would not have been surprised, because he was that good at playing this part. I would not have been surprised if afterwards I went in IMDb and read Val Kilmer contracted tuberculosis just for this role.
Yeah,
just
to get it right. Yeah, he was so good.
And I've never seen a dying man, like dying of tuberculosis, look so beautiful as well. Like honestly, like it was chiseled. Like even like the sunken eyes and everything. I was like, even I was like saying, I'm straight, and I was like, maybe I'm not, because I'm looking at Val Kilmer saying I would snuggle up to him in bed and say, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'm not gonna lie.
You wouldn't want to get in that bed.
No, you'll not be coming out of it. That's for damn sure.
Cold. It was cold, wasn't it, Sammy? Because they had ice underneath the bed.
Yeah, to kind of keep him chilled.
Really?
So yeah, if that face doesn't, that face is kind of like a mixture of makeup and the temperatures that they put him in. Because I looked at him and he's convincingly ill.
Yeah.
Like, and when he first came on the screen, I was like, Jesus, is he gonna just drop dead straight away? It was amazing how he showed that when he needed to be, he could be strong. Yeah. But when he went but then he could kind of retreat back and just go, okay, I am really like dying here. Like, it's like, give us a minute.
They keep talking about like moments in movies, like will make a movie like stand out or like live long, like as long as it can. With this, every moment he was in, he made the most of, and there's not like one bit that you can say, oh, that's my favorite Doc Holliday bit. Like every bit, like scene he was in, it was captivating. Like from his introduction at the poker table when the guy's accusing him of cheating, and he's like, oh, we're no longer friends now, and he whips out his pistols and puts them on the table. He's got, there, we can be friends. And then it just the switch when he's like the brutality of him when he's stabbing him as well. And it's kind of like the reactions and his little counterpart, his little wasn't his wife, it was his almost like his partner in crime.
They called them common law wives because there's nothing out there to say written that they're actually were married. So they just called them common law wives.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that he stabbed? It's someone famous, I can't remember who it is now.
Leap, can you get the gun out your mouth, please?
We don't want to get YouTube getting concerned about us. I didn't even think. I can't remember what the name is at all. Sorry.
Chris was laughing his head off, and I was like, my Top Gun partner was about to blow his own brains out.
Can we just take a second for how amazing Sam Elliott looks in this film?
Oh God!
Just that man was just made for Western movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a film where there's mustaches, they've got to get him. Like, I've heard rumors that there was just a mustache in his mom's womb, and he actually grew around it.
Amazing.
He looks exactly the same now as he did back then. It's like he's a mustache vampire.
I'm sure he did one of the prequels to Yellowstone, and he just looks no different from that to this, which is really great because there's so many programs, documentaries about this event, and there's one that's actually coming to Netflix very soon.
Right.
and they're going to do like kind of a reenactment. It's kind of like a reenactment of the OK Corral and everything that happened around it, but it's historians talking over the top of it too. But Kevin Costner did one, which is weird because Kevin Costner's in Yellowstone and Sam Elliott plays his great-great-grandfather. It took a long time to get there.
But no, I said I think all the Wyatt family, like Kurt Russell, like is just, I don't think he's done many bad films. So that
he's never done a bad film.
No, so when he's doing like a strong performance, and he was strong in this, like you could tell, like his eyes were so piercing. And then you go from like Sam Elliott, like as Virgil, who was again, cast perfectly, and like these look like families. And we got Bill Paxman, fucking Bill Paxman.
Oh my gosh.
Again, like say a bit naive, but a bit innocent. The only thing with Bill Paxman, I will say, it did feel his role, he was a little bit too old for the part, just because he was playing the younger brother, like the innocent, and at times in like different looks, because Bill Paxman has an old man's face, let's be honest. Even when he was young, he still looked older than he probably was.
Oh, I didn't get that. I could easily recognize that he was the younger out of the three.
But that was more to the personality, not look-wise.
Potentially. No, you're potentially right. I was telling these guys before we came on, if any of them actually looked at Morgan Earp beforehand, the actual reel, it's terrifying how much Bill Paxton looks like him. It really is. I liked Morgan, because his death scene actually broke me.
He was like the little like kid of the group, basically.
And it's
like
the fact that
the innocent one.
Yeah, and when he became the lawman, the peacemaker, and he was almost standing behind Virgil because he was terrified to like, but then he kind of like grew a backbone because Virgil was standing next to him. Just that transformation of like being a bit timid to like, actually no, this is the right thing to do, and then I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna own that. I love that moment, which then obviously makes his death heartbreaking because it's like he finally got it.
Yeah. It's great, and well, not great, but when movies make like action scenes or stuff like that, it's like if someone gets shot in the arm, it's like, oh, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, people can live. Like how many times John Wick has been shot and he still can walk forward. It's like you get shot in this movie, you lose the use of your arm, because medical science back in the day, it was either remove the bullet or you die. And that's basically
when they were removing that bullet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I felt it.
Was it in his spine?
In his back.
It's in his back.
Yeah, it's severed. It's severed
first
part
I thought
of
it was
his
in
spine.
His
It was when they're trying to get it out.
About.
But it was that conversation between, and it was
Chris got excited because he was digging in an ass.
It was the conversation between Wyatt and thingy Morgan, when he was like, when they were talking about the bright light, and apparently historically that's what they used to talk about when they would always say, I wonder if there's a light, I wonder if and they had an agreement with each other that if one of them went first, they would try and tell them straight away what was on the other side. So that line was apparently what he actually said when he died in Wyatt's arms. Was
interesting.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's a few lines that they actually were historically correct. The Doc Holliday just before the OK Corral. Oh, it was during the OK Corral shooting where it's reported that someone's trying to shoot Doc Holliday and he's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, you're a daisy if you do. Doc Holliday did actually say that.
Also, historical accuracy. Sorry. So the shooting, we all know the shooting at the OK Corral. We know the saying, even if you don't know what that means. It didn't actually take place at the OK Corral. It was a little bit down the street at a photo shop. It just happened to end outside of the OK Corral. So originally you can't really call it whatever that photo shop was because it had like name. So it sounded better like it was the shooting at the OK Corral.
And the gunfight just down the road from the OK Corral doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
No, not at all.
I've just looked up on IMDb because I had to get out my head who that guy was that he stabbed. It's Frank Stallone.
All right. So it's
really?
He stabs Frank Stallone in the bar.
Right. Oh, cool. But as you said, like all the different like people that's in this, like you could throw a shoe and hit someone famous and not really realize it. Like Wyatt Earp showcasing how much of a badass he is when he walks into this the saloon. I've forgotten its name now, where it's like, oh, everyone's got, it's a beautiful place, but it won't make any money because it's full of deadbeats. And you've got Billy Bob Thornton sitting there being the biggest arsehole. And
he was a little bitch in it, though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I didn't know until Lee pointed him out today, and he even had a screenshot.
I think Chris has been dying to recite the lines from this bit. He's been doing it.
Which one? Where he's like, "Skin your piece, boy. You can stand there and bleed."
Yeah, skin your piece.
It's one of my favorite lines.
I love after when he finds out and he's like, comes up, he's like, "Doc," and he's like, "You're Wyatt Earp." And he's like, "Put the gun down." And he just goes, "Thank you." Thanks him for like making him a little bitch.
Oh, I do love it when Wyatt Earp just loses his shit and goes, and it's not a revenge. What do they call it? It's they didn't call it the revenge, a reckoning. Oh my God, the change in character was just perfect. Watching him go from, he really is trying his hardest to create a life he in his head is like this is,
he wants.
You know,
this is what he thinks he should have type thing. Yeah,
exactly. But he has a wife who's absolutely addicted to opiates, like a common law wife who's addicted to opiates. So he's not really going to get that life, is he?
No.
But he's trying his hardest, and then when Virgil gets shot, Morgan gets shot, and he tries to, when he's leaving, because they do take Morgan's body back to his ma and pa, because his ma and pa is still alive. Like, that family is just one wackadoodle crazy show. Lots of kids, lots of marriages, but Morgan's wife wasn't.
To be fair, in the Wild West, what are you going to do? There's no TV.
True, you're right. Got to get their entertainment somehow. Morgan's wife wasn't actually there when Morgan got shot. He preempted what was going to happen and sent her to Ma and Pa to be looked after. But watching when Wyatt leaves and he's like, "This is it, we're done."
Yeah.
And then he gets the confirmation that no, this is not done. And he just it's the screaming in front of Power's booth in the water where he's just going, "No, no, no." That and the what's the thing on the bottom of a cowboy's boot?
The spur.
The spur, when he lifts his chin up with the top of his boot and then just
and he gets ice face.
That was a maneuver.
Yeah, it's like such a power move as well. It's like, I'm in control. Like,
I got you, bitch.
Yeah.
The bit after that, man, and it's like, "You tell him hell's coming."
No, I'm coming with you, and hell's coming with me.
What is it? You called for the thunder, and I'm bringing it, and hell's coming with me. I was like, "Fuck yes, this is what I've been waiting for."
But yeah, like we got like almost like a Rocky montage of him going around killing all the cowboys.
I liked it.
Some beautiful shots, like cinematic shots of like the sunrise and them just like riding towards it, where there's nobody like on the other side of the camera, just Kurt Russell shooting. The camera like,
we got some Harlem Globetrotter type shooting as well. Like they were hiding behind the courses while they were riding, and you got Doc Holliday like firing out the back of his head, just going, "Choo-choo, I'll take you out over there." They could have been in firing with their feet. They were hitting, like the cowboys couldn't shoot for shit, but the Wyatt gang kind of like hit anything that moved.
Yeah, Doc Holliday had a hell of a shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
As much of a like serious film this is, it is quite comical as well. Like there's so many funny moments. Even with the shooting scene, like this shooting scene where they're going around killing all the cowboys, and that one guy is like in the opium den, and he reaches for the pipe and puts it in his mouth, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
As Lee was demonstrating earlier with the gun.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for someone to Photoshop me. Like, I shouldn't have done that.
No,
now you've just pointed it out.
Just don't post on Facebook. I can't take another ban. It's fine.
Yeah, we're almost out of the last one. Let's not put that back a little bit further.
God damn you, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, Doc Holliday's shots were absolutely brilliant when he's sitting, when he's got his gun behind his back. And he just, the way he swaggers out.
He does the...
Yeah.
Say when. Say when. Say when, bitch.
I could just go and watch, and I kind of did last night because when you type in I typed in Wyatt Earp just to start there, and then there was it took us to a reaction of fans who've been doing this as a watch along on YouTube, but it was just the last part with Doc Holliday. The amount of people who got behind that character, they loved him, and especially when the reveal happens that it's not Wyatt, it's him, is it was crazy because it was how much people actually got behind him.
I think the performance from Michael Beale being in that moment was unreal. Can we just stop it for a second? Because he was ultimately confident that everyone's been telling Wyatt since he's going to fight him that he's going to lose. There's no way he can beat Johnny Ringo. And Johnny Ringo knew this, and he's like, "Oh, you turned up," and you see the swagger in Johnny Ringo, and see the confidence. He knows he's got his man. He's going to do, and that just drains out of him when you see Doc, and you see the silhouette, and you hear him go, "I'm your Huckleberry," and he's good. He's trying to talk his way out of it, saying, "I've got no beef with you. It's with Wyatt." He's good. I beg to differ. There, we started a game where we said we'll play for blood. And he said, I didn't mean it. He's like, I was serious, boy. And you knew that he was like, oh, fuck.
I was just joking. He's like, I wasn't.
The quick shoot as well in the top of the head.
Yeah.
And Bean's reaction. And Bean's reaction to it as well. That was so good. But Johnny Ringo... Sorry, but Johnny Ringo, nobody knows how Johnny Ringo died. He was just found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, in the middle of nowhere, and they just put it down as a suicide.
His horse was found 2 miles away from him, with his boots still attached to the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Something went down. We just don't know what, and the likelihood is it probably wasn't Doc Holliday because he really was sick.
Oh, it was Doc. It has to be Doc.
But who cares? Because that moment was just everything. It was the confidence of, I didn't expect you. I really didn't expect you to come. And just before you even see him, you hear him. I lost my shit. I'm not joking. I genuinely lost my shit. But I love when Wyatt does end up turning up and he just goes, wasn't as sick as I made out to be. It's like,
yeah. And he's like, let's get on. Okay, then let's get on. But one of the funniest scenes, and again, I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but again, I hope it wasn't planned this out and they just did it off the cuff. I know it probably wasn't because it was just a perfect moment in cinema. Is when Johnny Ringo's showing off in front of Doc Holliday in his face and doing all these cowboy moves with the gun, going like this, and it's that's not really impressive. Just spinning a gun on your finger. Come on, it's not great. I liked it when he put it in the holster, and even Doc just didn't even blink. I think the best term I can use because he's a porter, he didn't flinch, and he just pulled out the cup and was just spinning the cup round. It was saying, "You can do all this shit. It doesn't really matter." Wait, it's because it's not about spinning. It's how quick you can get that out the holster and pull the trigger at the end of the day. And Doc's impression just. Honestly, I was killed over. It's one of them moments you hear in movie history, you hear about the Indiana Jones scene from when Raiders of the Last Ark, where there's supposed to be this giant fight scene between this say ninja sword fighter who's doing all the moves. Then Indy was supposed to fight him for ages, but Harrison Ford had the shits that day, so he just whipped out the gun and fired, then ran to the toilet, and they went, that was amazing, so they kept it in. I wish this was that type of thing. I know it's probably planned, but in my head, I kind of wanted it to be that type of situation.
Just completely off the cuff, and they were like, "That's good enough to keep that in." I've got another little interesting tidbit. The woman who played Wyatt's common law wife, the opiate abuser, her daddy is
Can someone clip Sammy saying that?
Her dad is the reason. He's actually the owner and creator and started DC Comics.
All right.
Back in the day.
Interesting.
He started DC Comics when it was under its original name, which I cannot remember off the top of my head even. But he created DC Comics.
Interesting.
There you go. Comic book information.
She has for creature commandos.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So, Chris, what was your kind of like favorite moments in this movie?
Oh, right, because I was thinking before, do you know the end where Wyatt's brothers died? This is the funniest part, I think, but it's not really
Oh my
funny.
God, you started that badly.
So after, do you know when he comes out and he's just like, "Ah," you notice
Yeah.
that it only rains around him, and
Right.
after that,
No.
you can literally see the circle of the hose that's been pointed upwards. It proper took us out of it.
Yeah, I
Oh.
never even noticed. I was too busy like emotional.
Did you point it out to Molly
moping.
as well? Did you?
We both saw it at the same time and was
Oh,
just like, oh, it's kind of took out of it. And then in the next scene, like the sand is bone dry. And it's like, well, it hasn't been raining there. But yeah, I thought that was the funniest.
Just an Eeyore moment. Gloomy cloud over Wyatt.
My brother's died and there's a fucking cloud.
And do you know what it's not funny, but how they represented death in this. Doc Holliday and Morgan did it, where they went, and just that was it. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
That realistically that wouldn't happen. But yeah, I thought it was quite amusing that that's how they represented the way that someone would stop breathing.
Do you not think it was weird how it went from like the old western town of Tombstone to just a sanatorium, and he's in his little bed, like playing cards?
You don't think it's weird that Doc Holliday on his deathbed decides to go, oh, Wyatt, by the way, I'm a nonce.
Yes.
He's like, I was in love once. My cousin, she was 15 years old.
He's
you shouldn't be telling people this.
I think 14 was a marrying age back then in America, but
because they were going to die by the time they were 30, so they had to get in early.
Just to announce as well, because I've looked in the Discord, everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, we've spotted all 5 Chris's." They haven't. They've missed one.
Oh,
so just to help, the logo that was on the page is still the same logo that's on this page. So that's only one. There's one Chris that people are missing.
Interesting. I wonder which one. We obviously can't talk about it because we're going to end up telling people what it is.
Does Chris's
and
camera count?
No, Chris's real face does not count. Shame. Again, historical information. Wyatt didn't find out Chris. Wyatt didn't find out about Doc's actual death for like 2 months after he died. So he wasn't there. He wasn't there with him. He didn't find out until later on. And yeah, that was it. That was.
What was that little note that you left him as well?
Oh.
You know, on the bed where it was just like I thought it looked like you know, the when you go to a funeral and you have like the bit of paper saying, "Oh, welcome to Bygone." I thought it was one of them.
But like an in memoriam.
Do you mean the book thing that he gave him?
Yeah. Or was that just pictures of his cousin or something?
No, it was. I think he wrote a book called My Friend Wyatt Earp. By the look, no, My Friend Doc Holliday. By the looks of it.
Wrote him a book. Oh.
I don't know if it's a real book. I didn't.
It's not very cowboy of him, is he?
He wasn't really a cowboy. He was a peacemaker.
I wrote you a book.
He was a peacemaker who tried to become a businessman, who then ended up going back to being a peacemaker, who then ended up going on to be a movie consultant.
I did love his gun, like in that box and having like that shield on it, like peacemaker. That was proper badass. It reminded us very much of a Roger Rabbit moment, though, when Eddie gets the gun out of the trunk, and it's like the cartoon gun
and the cartoon bullets as well. Yeah, I had to go and look up the difference between a peacemaker and a policeman, and what because I couldn't understand how you had the mayor, the sheriff, and then the peacemakers, and not one of them could make a decision between any of them. It was so messy.
Did you notice who the mayor was as well?
Yes, it's him from
Lost.
Was it him from Lost?
Oh yeah,
Locke from Lost.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Jesus Christ.
Took us a while to recognize his face. Like I was like, oh, okay. But one of them could make a decision. So when it comes down to like Virgil taking the stand and like there's no guns on the streets, because that's why it all kicks off really, is because they're getting told that they can't use their guns because people are getting too scared of walking about. It was like, who's actually the authority here? Because you can't quite make up your mind on all three of yous. That was very confusing. But I guess at a time when, you know, they were just starting to figure shit out, it might have been very confusing.
Oh, we've got a winner as well now.
Who won?
Molly.
Honestly.
Molly spotted
Molly!
Molly has spotted the Chris's.
I'm still trying to find it. I don't know where the
Found
first
four.
one is.
1, 2, 3.
There's only 4 on the screen. There was 1 on the thumbnail.
Oh.
Ah, right, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So which one were they missing?
The one next to you.
Oh!
Oh, no, I've seen that
Yeah.
one. I didn't know there was one on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
See, I told you putting them on Frank would be a good idea.
That's weird though. It looks like you can prod Chris in the head.
I shouldn't do that. Like, that's an actual wall there.
Ant's like, why are you not?
Ant'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, but they're kicking off in the
Oh,
Discord saying shenanigans and that that Chris's other half won. But the question
Oh,
is now.
Is that because I fell at the answers?
No. So to say that there's been
I
enough.
would have joking. I didn't really.
There's been enough controversy. One question to ask though, Molly. I don't know if you want to put it in the chat or one of your messages privately. Are you going to ask for a Top Grumps T-shirt or a Women of Nerd Culture T-shirt?
what's wrong with the monster T-shirt? I mean,
was,
Holly's not into horror. Well, Molly's not into horror, so I get that.
well, no, because like to be fair, no one's got a Top Grumps or a Women of Nerd Culture T-shirt
That's
yet.
true. That's true. That's true.
So she'll be the first one. So
sorry, Phoebe. That's tomorrow's episode.
But yes. So I know we've talked about a lot of different scenes. Like Chris has been seeing the stuff he enjoyed. What about you, Lee? What is your like standout moments?
Biggest pick just one bit, man. I think we've mentioned all of the best bits, like the skin your piece, boy, and I'm just slapping him. I'm your Huckleberry. Like, there's too many bits for us to pick out. Just the whole film for me is amazing.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, there's not one bad. Like, I know Sammy said it took a while to think, but again, the interactions, like Billy Zane with hair, like trying to remember Billy Zane having hair again. It was like that was a moment.
He is a handsome man.
Yes,
very beautiful man. But it was the fact that he was trying to bring culture into, you know, this gritty, horrible place. And I was like, oh, you go with your Shakespeare. But it was the guy who was part of like the Cowboys, and when he saw that he'd been shot, he was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, that was enough for him to like go, no, I think there might have been some hidden context behind that, but he was like, you've taken this beauty out of this world. I am done. Like, and I don't know if it's because he really appreciated what he was trying to do, or there was some other mixed feelings there. Either way, his decision.
I think he was gay. Like,
yeah.
But
I
didn't want to just
out. Well, of course, yeah. I just didn't want to outright say, just in case that's not where they were looking to go. But it was just, it was the way he just went, I'm done. That's enough. That is enough. Also, Wyatt's then, you know, the woman who Wyatt ends up with, which I thought was really weird how they managed to bring that. But he did literally spend his entire life having adventures with her. They literally moved around everywhere. We're having room service. They lived a life, and he died in 1925. I think she died in 1944. But yeah, they are. I don't think they're buried next to each other either, because he's buried. They're all from California. And his. I was telling Lee this today. His headstone is being stolen 5 times.
Right.
To the point with the last one, they have had to literally try and like cement it down to the ground. Morgan got moved from one cemetery into another one over the road. There was the cemetery that was there with things were falling apart and mine and stuff, and they wanted to move them because they knew the Eps were there. And it was, you know, it's a big deal to have the Eps there. So they kind of moved them over the road. Morgan's plaque got took 3 times. But the last one was donated by a historical place, and no, was donated by the police force because of his service as a peacemaker, and it's also got a little the star, the sheriff badge star, and it's got Virgil, his like emblem in there as well. This part really, like the whole Earp family really interested me.
Just to go back on the bit that Lee said about the lad who played Billy. Did you see who was the actor who played him? Jason Priestley out of 90210.
Yeah, who was he again? Because somebody mentioned that in the chat. Who did he play?
Oh, I've forgotten his name now. He was one of the main characters from seasons 1 to 9 or something like that.
Oh, I know who Jason Priestley is. I just didn't know who he was in this.
Oh,
Billy,
Billy.
the one that fancies Billy's in.
Jason Priestley.
Yeah, that was Jason Priestley.
I had no Jason Priestley's face.
Yeah, and it was him. Just it was hidden behind a beard and glasses.
It always reminds me of the Michael Scott joke, you know, when he's got James Dean on the wall and he's like, I wonder if Jason Priestley's friends treat him like this, and he looks at him. Sorry to bring it back to The Office. And Molly, you are too sweet.
Yeah.
I donate my t-shirt win to Chris. Please make him a Grumps t-shirt. The wonk leading lady should be the first wonkers to wear their shirt. Well, that's a mouthful, that one on mine, Molly.
That's what she said.
Lee, do you know what that means?
Top
Guns win!
What was that you were wiggling?
What's in your hand?
The little wipe thing.
It doesn't look like that.
Have you been something about married or something? Put on your ear.
It's a wet wipe. I was just like...
I love how much heart and soul Kurt Russell puts into this movie as well. Like, he sacrificed some of his character development in this because there was a director switch like partway through. So he worked his arse off to get things up to speed for the new director coming in and helped like plan shots and things like that.
All right.
And I fully believe that if Kurt Russell had the chance, he would just ride around on his horse shooting bad guys in real life. Just the rest of his time.
Just for the crap.
And he even named his son Wyatt.
Yeah, he did. Oh my god, I never even put 2 and 2 together. Wyatt Russell.
Didn't he do a cowboy horror film later on called Bone Tomahawk or something like that?
Bone Tomahawk? Yes. And I've never watched it for one reason, and I'll tell you when we're off air why.
That's cannibalisms.
Oh, do you know what? I have so much love for Kurt Russell. Like, I don't think there's a movie I would ever watch and go, well, that was shit because Kurt Russell was in it. I even said when we did They Live, that role is Kurt Russell's role. I love Roddy Piper, but you could have put Kurt Russell in that and you would have still gotten the same effect.
Right, all right. Yeah, no.
It was meant to be in it.
It probably wouldn't have been as cheesy or as bad. It would have had a bit more to it. It would have had a very much like Escape from LA or type feel to it.
That's why he's not in it.
Right.
Because everyone kept saying to him, you need because he's John Carpenter's go-to guy. He was like, for this one, just let him sit out.
Just let him sit out.
Just let's go down a different route. You can't be using him for everything because it's going to turn out to be the same film every time. So that's why
he's like a rock.
Yeah. But I loved him in this. He looks so fucking handsome as well.
And again, I'm going to sound a bit hypocritical here, so I do apologise for going back on certain things I've said in the past about certain franchises where I think they have too many endings. So I have slagged off a certain franchise quite badly because it had 17 million endings. This film kind of has the same, not issue, I kind of like that it has so many endings because it ties up every little story nicely as well, because in essence, you could have finished this movie after the Doc Holliday and Johnny Ringo fight, and I would have been happy. If then that was the go home, because in essence, when that fight happened, that was the end of the Cowboys. The Cowboys were defeated and they weren't really there. But it kind of wrapped up, like say, the Doc Holliday story where Wyatt goes to visit him when he's dying. He says, "Go and get her," and then you get Wyatt and Josephine together, kind of like to wrap up and to finish it. So again, there's a few different endings in this movie where it's kind of like wrapping up like the loose ends, which I think works really well. And again, I didn't actually hate that aspect to it, so I feel bad slagging off the Lord of the Rings so much now because
No,
of
you
it.
don't need to. No, you don't need to, because it was just
Mhm.
it was an ending to that part. There's then an ending to this part. It's just tied up loose ends. That's all. I've just remembered that actually the grave I was mentioning with Wyatt, Wyatt was cremated. Josephine, who's buried, and she just took him with her. So that's it. I've just remembered that. Sorry, that would have bothered us if I hadn't have said something.
No, good. It's a difficult one. Like I say, there's a lot going on at certain times when it comes to like false endings or false false.
I've just seen Joe's comment. Sammy doesn't speak for all of us. Paul should apologize. Apologize, Paul.
I've laid my arms down and admitted defeat with that one, I guess. But no, there's not many films where I would describe as a perfect film, and I know like it's weird saying this now because there is literally not one scene, not one bit of dialogue, or not one bit of anything in this movie I would change or say that wasn't needed. Everything had such purpose, like from the start to the end. The characters in it were done so, like there was so much love crafted in it. Even like the character Ike, who was done by Stephen Lang, was so odious and so hideous. I know you commented that he was
Such
pissed.
a coward.
Yeah, and it's
Which
like a
one's that
bully.
one?
It's like a bully. That's probably the best way to describe it because
Ike's the one who got his spur on his face off Kurt Russell.
Yeah, he was the one who came. He was the one who would like egg them on and then go, no, don't kill us, don't kill us, don't do it. Yeah,
He sued them as well in real life.
What?
Did he?
What?
Yeah, do you know after the OK Corral shooting, I think 3 of them died. He survived, and he sued Wyatt Earp for the wrongful death.
Yeah, they actually did go to court.
I love that they tried to arrest him. And he's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to arrest you. He's like, I don't think I'll let you arrest us today.
They actually did get arrested, and they actually did go to court for that reason. And obviously, don't show it in the film because you don't need to see it. They did get off with it, and they found what they did was lawful. But yeah, they did get arrested, and they did go to court for the Wyatt brothers stood trial for that.
To be fair though, back in them days, like anything was lawful. Like how
they were just making it up as they went along.
Yeah, I just remember we haven't even mentioned the Sandman. From
God, yeah.
Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah. He's the one that Doc kind of like winked at, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill him," and he was like, "Oh shit!" It's like I've got to start firing now because he winked at us. It's like
I love when Kurt Russell just goes, "Oh my god," because he's like, "Oh no."
But the lead up again, because there's so many different foundations and so many strong relationships in this, but in this movie, like the strongest partnership I would say is like the Doc and Wyatt's, I think.
Yeah.
And I love the interactions with them because they never question each other. They never kind of like bicker or like get annoyed at each other. They've always got each other's back. And there's one moment that there's a flicker in Doc when Wyatt says, "This isn't your fight," and like you can instantly see it's like a viper. He's like straight up. He's like bites back. He's like, "How dare you?" It's like almost like you can insult and call him every like name under the sun, like Lunga, everything, like every name that you can think of, like to besmirch Doc Holliday's character. It was the fact that it was like, "This isn't your fight," and he's like, "How the fuck dare you?" Like
who the fuck are you telling me that, dickhead?
Yeah.
I got that bit. What I love is the fact that the priest at the beginning tells him that the four men of the apocalypse are coming for him, and that shot when them four walking down the street together, I was like, I got chills. I was like, oh, they look. It's the fact that they all. It doesn't help at the moment that I'm looking at the picture and Chris's fucking face is on it. But
that's Chrissy the kid.
Makes it better, I think.
But they just look like they are meant to be. Like the universe just found these four people and was like, this is how it's meant to be because they look amazing together. I could have just watched this just to watch them just walking down the street constantly.
Did you sit at the whole end credits where it's just
I
them
did-
walking for
Yeah.
I did
5
actually,
minutes?
yeah.
It feels so empowering somehow. Like I watched it
doesn't
on a
it?
night, went to sleep, and then took Lara to school the next morning. And as I'm walking her into school, I had me head held
You're
high, and I'm like,
you're feeling that.
wow, wow.
Yeah, you're feeling that. I totally get what you mean. But what I also find funny in situations when you see that kind of walking in movies where like they're in a line is when one of them pushes somebody. It happens in Fanboys where they're walking in the Skywalker Ranch and fucking Hutch just pushes windows. But I also find it funny when in movies where you see someone running down the street and they just randomly push a stranger for no reason.
So what we've learned in this podcast now is Sammy will touch you up in the cinema. Sammy likes to go with two men to the cinema, but also if you're walking down the street close to Sammy, she will push you in a bush. She will she will attack you in a most violent way.
Sorry, but no one else find that funny. I think it's hilarious.
It's like pushing poor disabled boy Chris over into a bush. Like, it's not very nice.
I would never.
And then going, are you gonna do something? Or are you just gonna stand there and bleed?
But you know what? Watching this movie, because like Lee said, my dad made me grow up on cowboy films to the point where I kind of disassociate. I stopped liking them because
disconnected.
Because my dad was obsessed with John Wayne. Like, he's got John Wayne's autograph. He's got statues of John Wayne in the house.
Wow.
I for a long time was like, I can't stand cowboy films. I love like when watching this. I love this movie. It feels so different, so new, so interesting. The other one that does make me feel like this in the same way, but it's got the same vibe, but it's very different type of atmosphere, is Young Guns. So after watching this today, I was like, I really want to watch Young Guns now.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
is this the best Western movie though?
it depends. In
I'm
my eyes,
wondering
yes.
whether you'll say this or Back to the Future 3.
No, definitely not.
No. I didn't grow up on westerns. Like I was talking to Lee and Jake today. My granddad it was more kung fu movies, martial art movies. So I've never had that connection with the western, and this is probably why I had a bit of disconnect while I was watching the beginning of this, because I was like, this isn't a style that I would normally go. Like it was the same when I watched Hateful Eight, in all honesty, because I don't have that. I mean, that movie is too heavily dialogued. They just need to shut the fuck up. But I just don't have that connect with it that I was like, but I was like, I really need to give this a chance. But I really have found learning about like that side of American history really interesting. Like it took us on a bit of a deep dive I'd never expected to go down. And it was always going to end with the gravestones. It's it's me. That's how I roll.
So just to answer Lee's question next, I think it's an important one. Is this the best Western? It's a hard one to answer. I would put it up there. There's, as I said, I wouldn't say Young Guns is on the same level. I say Young Guns and Young Guns 2 is a great cowboy film. Like, but it's more for Emilio Estevez. That's a standout performance rather than.
Oh, is that what that one is?
Yeah, and Kiefer Sutherland is brilliant. Up there again, it's a remake, but I absolutely found Sammy will be bored to tears of this one because it's very, like, again, relationship driven is very drawn out, not much action. True Grit with what's he called, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, I've seen that and I really enjoyed that. It's Haley Stein's.
Her performances.
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she was absolutely phenomenal in that movie, but so was he, and that did actually take us for a turn because, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch that style of movie.
I'm expecting Chris to see 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
I was going to pick Cowboys versus Aliens.
A Million Ways to Die in the West is so good, man.
Is that the Seth MacFarlane one?
Yeah, it is.
I still
enjoy that.
I still can't get over him shitting in the hat and it tipping over. And the song, a mustache, you only had a mustache.
Oh, Neil Patrick Harris sings that so well.
And there's a Back to the Future reference in that as well.
I haven't seen it for years.
So I think I don't really like Western movies because they're too unrealistic, and it just focuses on like all the like toxic masculinity sort of stuff, where it's just like these are men's men, and they weren't going to be like that. Like Tombstone, it shows like they are scared, like they're going in like possibly about to die, and like literally shitting themselves. People like Ike running away, like almost crying and begging for their lives.
Yeah.
But most Westerns, it'll just be like, go on then, pull the trigger, you
Like
yellow
a Clint
belly,
East,
son of
like a
a
Clint
gun.
Eastwood one, like Unforgiven or something like that. Yeah.
Also showing a side of vulnerability as well, especially that scene really hit home for me when they were taking Morgan back to California, and it just to show like he was disheveled, his hair was all like a mess, like he wasn't done up, but like he wasn't done up as the Wyatt everyone has seen him walking around town, and showing that vulnerability as well. That was it was nice, not nice to see, but like appreciated that they could do that and like kind of downplay what you were saying about the masculine side of cowboy movies.
Yeah. And Phoebe's just made a great point in the chat as well. If you can class Star Wars as almost like a Western, like say in a different space, I would put even like things like Firefly and Serenity. Like Serenity is always, yeah. You were going to say
I'd
that.
say Cowboy Bebop's my favorite Western then.
Yeah.
I like Cowboy Bebop.
And this film looks so clean as well. It's like all of these Hollywood, all of the Western movies that came before this are just way too gritty, and like they seem a little bit sloppy. But this is just so clean cut, and it's like a Hollywoodized like version of Westerns.
I was very their tashes were very well groomed as well. Like I don't know how it did. Like I've grown this one in and I tried shaving it to try and groom it. It's like it's patchy as fuck. It's like it's choppy as like how did they fucking groom it properly? Like,
well, they've said all mustaches were real in that film. Nobody had a fake mustache.
Right.
But also go
Chris.
go and have a look at the real Wyatt Earp's mustache at one point in his life, because my God, that is impressive. Like Chris's, it's got nout on Chris's fake one. It's oh my gosh, it like takes up his face. I've really enjoyed
Nosferatu.
Don't get me started.
God, that Chris, can you put your tash on as an eyebrow? I want to see what it looks like as an eyebrow.
So grab your marks.
Hey,
at least you watched the episode, you can tell.
That's true. Well done. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
I've just appreciated learning the history.
Oh my God, it's Tom Cruise from Legend.
Oh, he looks like something.
Looks like you've got hair.
Gotta find the unicorns.
God, you could ride you like a pony with that.
That's the first place you went to.
Yep. Yep. That is true. Would you watch the Netflix thing that they're doing for it?
Which one?
Yeah.
Just learning just about the OK Corral, just the story of the Eps.
I did American history. I quite like stuff like that.
You can write an article for the website for it.
Nah.
Cheap plug. I'm still waiting for.
If you do cheap plugs, thumbs up. Thumbs up for cheap plugs.
I'm still waiting for you to send us your review on Captain America that someone promised us to do. No one promised us. Just I tried to get you to do it.
Who promised you that?
No one. I kind of went with if you go and see it. We just write a review, and no one got back to us. No one replied. So yeah.
It's sorry, I didn't actually see it, and two, I'm just gonna tell you on the next episode of Countdown to Doomsday because there's not a great deal to say. Is there, Lee?
Not really.
Nah, you can't spoil anything for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wait. What are you doing?
What?
Are you having fun there?
It keeps getting caught on my shoulders.
Again, audio listeners, please just go and watch it on YouTube because you're missing an absolute treat with these lot. You really do dedicate, dedicate to this podcast, and I appreciate that. I don't know how your partners feel about it, but I appreciate it.
By the sounds of it, Molly's very proud. Top's gone for life.
But you do look like Indiana Jones though now, though. Like
all week, Bex has been going like you're changing your whole look just for a like hour-long podcast, and it's like, no, it'll be like an hour and a half.
Get it right, Bex.
Oh, Lee at his pedantic best. My lovely wife's reaction when because I shaved my beard off because my chin's feeling a bit lonely now, was like, "Ew, you look wrong. Don't come near us with that thing. You just look ew." Thanks, Nick.
I mean,
where's the paper boy?
Come to the library. I need to check the bandwidth on this computer.
Oh my god.
That's some good. Oh no, I wasn't going to do
it. Don't. We've done very well.
I'll just put my hand in my pocket and stand over going, that's nice.
It's up there, Steve. It's up there.
Oh dear me.
My goodness, hey. Are we rating Tombstone or are we not? I can't remember. Do we do ratings anymore?
We can still rate it. We'll not do a ranking because that's a copyright infringement on a popular web series that's out there.
Oh. Okay. I'm glad you told us. I would never have known.
Oh, shots fired.
Been on it?
Oh, that's right, I have.
Oh, right.
Only one.
It was my favourite episode as well.
Oh, was it?
It was.
It's not what you said to me.
Loads of fun on that one.
Yeah, because I made it to myself because my audio kept going and it made it sound like I was saying the wrong things.
I forgot about that.
What was it? Am I the only one that's been on twice yet? Or someone else?
Been on twice.
Jake's been on a few times, so is Joe.
Joe. So am I going to be the first person to be on 3 times though?
Has Jake been on 3 possibly?
Okay,
I think so.
Right.
Jake's been on Cowboy Bebop, Thunder Lips, and something else, I think.
Oh, I get it. Okay. You just have us on the ones just to keep us quiet and then just forget about us.
Oh, would love to have you on again.
Joe, get Sammy on again to keep her quiet.
Do you know what's so funny? Do you know what's even... it's not funny, it's actually quite bad, is that not one of them has said, why haven't I been on Monsters? Because it really could throw that back in my face.
Because we get it.
I think everyone's scared to go on Monsters.
Dan's terrifying. Like, I'm probably scared of what Dan would say to us.
He's like, Lee, your opinion's shit. Fuck off.
She's not really. She's not scary.
Like, what Monsters?
Nah.
Dan would definitely have you on.
She loves Chris. Everyone loves Chris? But the thing is, you got to think about Chris. How many podcasts has he got going on now?
I know. We need to give him a break, man.
Yeah, give him a break, Becca. Give him a break from his new main podcast.
Oh, Joe's upset because Joe's only been on once.
Has Joe only been on once?
Joe's like the official unofficial third grump, to be fair.
Right. And you've only had him on once.
And the effort he put in for the advertisement as well.
And we have got some plans for this month with Joe as well.
Right.
Oh yeah. Was that a spoiler?
No, it's
you heard
a
it
promise.
Here first.
Yeah. If we're going to rate it, yeah, because that went off the keel a bit low.
This whole episode's gone off the keel.
I think a 5. I can't change it anything because there's nothing I would change.
That's unusual for you. You normally do find something, and I've got a feeling I know what Lee's going to be. But go on.
5.
Has Lee rated anything other than a 5?
Yes. Yes, he has.
I've said this before though. Like, I usually come on the ones where you're like, oh, does anybody want to come on this? And I'm like, I love this film. Because I don't want to come on a podcast and be like, I wanted to come on and say how shit this was.
Street Fighter, you struggled to rate that one.
I can't remember what I gave it, but it
4.
was probably like a 4 or something.
4. And then you're like, no, I'm going to go with a 3 because everyone's keeping it low. And then you're like, no, I'm going to stick with me 4.
What about you, Chris?
4.7.
You can't point it, man.
Oh, well, 5.
Jake will kill us.
Chris is always pushing the
Sammy,
buttons.
Sammy,
Me?
have you rated it yet? You haven't, have you? Bear in mind, we've all given it a 5.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
Oh, you ruined it.
Can't even touch tips.
I don't really want to. You two crack on.
It's alright. Sammy can just prod your head there in the corner.
This way?
It's Chris trying
I know
to.
what my poster is.
What are you doing? Are you touching your
I'm
own
trying
tip?
to find Lee on the screen.
He's. Oh, fuck yous too.
Be no
Oh my god.
no touch tipping. Touch tipping. I'm getting tired now.
Touching.
Tip touching. I know.
Keep
just
your
call it
grumpy
docking.
stuff to yourself. Oh my god, that's amazing. Call it docking from now on. After
Space
Doc
Doc.
Holliday.
I always blackmail Lee though. That's the thing, because there's one episode that Lee really wants to do, and I'm holding it over him. So that's why Lee's always nice to us now. Because
well, there's one that
What's
you've
that?
mentioned that I really want to do.
yeah,
What's
But
that?
There's
Lethal Weapon.
yeah.
I said if
Oh,
I
There's
don't
ever
make
do.
us
loads
watch
of films
Lethal
that-
Weapon.
There's loads of films that I would much rather do, but
Oh,
Like
right.
what?
What
Oh,
is
come on then. What?
what is your fantasy, Lee?
there's a few, right? So the Raid.
Right.
I would
Ooh,
love to
yeah.
discuss the Raid at some point. My favorite action movie is Tango and Cash.
Right. Okay.
Another Kurt Russell one. I love Kurt
Yeah.
Russell and Stallone.
Interesting.
Could be interesting. Oh, see, you've said the Raid. I just want to do Judge Dredd now, or Dread.
Have we done
not done-
Judge Dredd?
We haven't done Dread.
We've
Put it
never
on top
done.
crumbs.
No.
Did we do the original Judge Dredd with Stallone movie?
Yeah.
Did we?
Oh,
I
no, we
wasn't
did
there,
a
was
Top
I?
Grumps episode on it.
Yeah, you done
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
Grumps on Dread.
Yeah.
But yeah. We've never done
One of
Dread.
No, we've never done Dread. It was Demolition Man, the one I
Yeah.
missed, where you used to. Was it with Beth? Or is that something different?
I can't remember. Oh,
It was just like it wasn't. It
just-
wasn't like a podcast. It was like a midweek thing.
Oh.
Jessica was on it, I think.
And I've spoke about Judge Dredd in my first ever
Comic book.
podcast that I was on. The comic book ones.
The comic
Judge
book
Dredd was-
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Oh.
Dread.
Oh, I'm just worried that Lee will get dressed up as actually Dredd by that.
Oh, I can't. That would be way too expensive to fork out for a Judge Dredd outfit.
Yes. I've done that many you can't remember. That's what she said, Nick. But yeah, so what's the Grumps this weekend? What are you doing this week? This Tuesday? I'll give the Grumps the fair due because we've been talking about it.
We've recorded it.
Yes,
Well
you have.
done.
I was editing it just before this.
Well done, Lee. What
Oh,
you doing?
Mr. Satan.
Mr.
Oh,
Satan.
yes, yep.
Mr.
What
From
from
Dragon
South
Ball Z.
Park?
No,
No, from Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Oh.
Actually,
Actually,
just to say as well, if anyone hasn't checked out already, has anyone
Oh my
checked out
God.
Lee's Dragon Ball videos? They are amazing. Like literally,
Really good. I don't even get them. I don't know what's going on, but so good.
just
Well done, Lee.
some little monkey kind of thing running around looking at people's skirts and looking at boobs. It's great.
that's all the original series is. It's
Yes.
just pervy humor. But it's innocent.
It's innocent, honestly. What's happening tomorrow, Sammy?
Ooh, tomorrow. We are heading into the 1930s. We're doing a Bela Lugosi movie that has nothing to do with Dracula.
Mhm.
We are doing White Zombie, not to
Ooh.
be mistaken for White Zombie, the band,
No.
the movie White Zombie.
Chris, take it off.
He's absolutely having a whale of a time there. If you're interested in watching White Zombie before the episode comes out or before you watch the episode, it is available many times over on YouTube. Just try and pick the cleaner version because there's one where it looks like it directly just come out in 1932. It's so bad. But yeah, we're doing Bela Lugosi's White Zombie.
Ooh, very good. Is any more Dragon Ball videos coming out this week? Because I know you put a lot of effort in. So
No, I've got 58 episodes to watch for the next saga.
Right.
How many?
58 episodes. It's 3 seasons of Dragon Ball that I need to fit into one video because it wouldn't be a complete set without putting them all together. It's one season like split into 3 seasons for some reason.
That's commitment, mind. That really is commitment.
Yeah. So it'll probably be next month by the time I get that out.
What were you, Chris? Have you got any other videos other than like Top Crumbs coming out this week?
Just Top Crumbs.
No OF or.
Oh yeah, I've got stuff on Obsidian Fleet and that. But
yeah, you can promote that here as well. We like that.
Oh yeah, I've got to remember what it is now. No, one released last week.
Yeah.
We're currently reviewing the animated series of Star Trek on Obsidian Fleet. I think it's next week. Yeah,
Becca will tell us in the chat if it is.
Yeah, Becca, keep him right, because clearly he hasn't got a fucking clue what he's doing. He's too interested playing with that bloody mustache.
Mustache. Next week is a big one. I think Sammy's forgotten about it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. We've got Kelly joining us. It's Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, you're not finishing the book yet.
No, thank Christ for that.
We are reviewing the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, Empire Strikes Back. So yes, that's going to be exciting. Yes. And Sammy and you can tell Sammy has totally forgotten about it.
I literally, I do have it written down in my diary. But yeah, my heart dropped there because I was like, Kelly, no, I can't do it in a week.
So next week we're doing Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Then we're on to our March schedule. So that will be our final February. So we've just locked in March. So just to give people a little heads up, I know people probably in the Discord seeing this, but in in March we've got the Maltese Falcon. So that's for our classic Hollywood. So going all sophisticated, like say about murder, mystery, and saboteur,
and Humphrey Bogart.
Yes. Then we're going back to old school Hollywood in a way with the black comedy Death Becomes Her, which is some of the greatest practical effects ever known.
I can't wait to bore the shit out of you with all that information.
And we are having a special guest on that episode, a debut. We are having the poshest nerd of them all, Miss Phoebe Bouffier.
Yes,
is joining us.
Get my replacement away.
What's wrong with Phoebe? Oh, it's because of Chris.
Chris.
Her and Chris are like a new duo now on their little streams that they do together. Go on.
Do you want to do me OF with this, Lee?
No, that's all right. I don't want to do your OnlyFans with you.
And we've just locked in as well because we're going to have to do a pre-recorded episode because Sammy, lovely other half, has a 40th birthday, so we don't intrude. We are going to be reviewing the Addams Family 1 and 2. So we'll be doing the Addams Family wrap. Then hopefully, if we've been able to finish it, well, we will. We're coming back with Stephen King's It. So we'll be talking about the book, movies, and just having a general discussion. We've done Pennywise, so we're talking about interesting facts.
Book, yeah, and I think that because I loved how The Shining turned out, that I'm hoping it has that same kind of thing. But I'm kind of cheating now. So what I'm doing is I'm listening to the audio book during the day, leaving off where I am, and then going back to my book later on and read. So I'm taking. It's hard work.
To be fair though, the audio book's about 80 hours, I think, as well. 80 hours. It's 40
hours.
Right.
It's 40
normal
hours.
Speed as well.
I couldn't not, Chris, because I'd be like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Fair enough.
It's honestly, when I've read The Shining, Doctor Sleep, and Pet Sematary, and The Green Mile, and all of them have a very consistent. This is Stephen King's writing style, and then you read it, and it is completely out of everything that I have just read. It's so difficult. You can tell the fucker's on drugs while he's doing it.
And then we're finishing that month with Star Wars: The Force Awakens as well.
Yeah.
So
a movie we've never spoke about before.
yeah, so it's going to be
Good
interesting.
film.
Yep.
I like the game.
Yeah.
It gave us hope. That was the thing. So we've got all them things coming in March, and we'll probably throw in a few extra things. I know Chris is loving doing these little review things that we've done for Commandos. So we are going
good, guys.
We are going to do potentially something like that for the new Daredevil show. So I was going to message Sammy and see if she wanted to join us for that as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so just because of how cool and how amazing that looks, I think that'll be quite an interesting one. Go from DC to Marvel, but I'm sure Chris will have a few little interesting things that he throws out, and he'll watch some creepy anime from time as well. So yeah.
Just got loads planned, loads of content coming out, mixing it up, changing it about, doing something different. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
doing
great.
what the fuck we want when we want to do it,
That is
and
so
with
true.
the people we want.
That is so true. I'm actually surprised that because when I said the Maltese Falcon, because it was my choice for the classic Hollywood movie, I genuinely thought you was going to shoot it down, and then you're like, no, let's do it. I was like, oh my god, okay, let's do this.
It's all right. The next month after that, I'm going to pick Laurel and Hardy, so it's fine.
Yeah, you see, I'm winning. I'm winning anyways, Paul. I get my own way, and then I get something I really love too. I'm always winning. Sammy is always winning.
Yep, and Paul always loses. Paul loses everything, but he keeps Lee. He has a Lee. That's all he needs.
We'll always have a Lee.
Chris,
And we kind of gained a Chris.
Chris is one of them growths that like grows on your shoulder that you like should really should kind of
Chris
chop off. But then
listen, Chris is my little moral compass. If I'm struggling with something, I'll go to Chris and be like, Chris, just help me out here. So no,
I normally say get it checked out.
Yeah.
Paul calling Chris a growth. He's going to go to bed tonight and look down and just see in his belly going, "Open your mind."
That's one we haven't touched yet. Total Recall as well. So yeah.
Oh, we have talked about that though.
Yeah. But yes, got a lot to fit in the year of the Paul. Then it's all fucking off. So yes. So yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And thank you for the chat. You have been great tonight.
Yeah, thanks. It's been so much fun.
And well done to Molly for winning the T-shirt. I'll sort that out afterwards. And Joe, like you see, made us feel bad when we talked last night. So send us a message. I need to send you a T-shirt. Everyone gets a T-shirt now. Yay!
Oh, look at him. His Oprah moment.
Yeah. you get a T-shirt. You get a T-shirt. The only difference is, Joe, you're getting a Wonk T-shirt. That's the thing. But Joe will love that. He'll suit the pink. But yeah. Anything to add? Anything people want to mention?
Watch Monsters tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hit the like button because you're lazy if you do.
Yes. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode from anything to do with Nerdy Up North. This episode and anything that has been associated with the Nerdy Up North YouTube channel will be on audio on Monday after 6 o'clock, unless you are sneaky and see that I actually put them up at 4 o'clock. But they will be available definitely from 6. It just depends on when I can do it. But yeah.
Or if the site where Sammy legally downloads the audio from is working.
It's fucking forever now, the new one I'm using. I have to start in the morning just to make sure I'm finished by the time it's ready to go up. But yeah, someone pointed out, because I said, the audio goes up at 6 o'clock. I think it might have been Dan, and she was like, it was 4 o'clock on Monday. I was like, okay.
Oh, I'm excited tomorrow. I'm getting fiber put in, so I'm going from 50 meg to 500. All that porn. Yes. Anyway.
The Tash is getting up.
Hasn't it? I think it's corrupted him.
Well, I might just keep it for the Sky Guy to come tomorrow with me, Tash, and just sit there watching him, looking at him, looking uncomfortable.
Keep it. And then just sit there doing that the whole time.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, do it.
So right, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.